Hey guys, Tony here. Happy Saturday. Let's put this 74% insider ownership issue to bed. I'm going to drop the atomic bomb for you and help you learn a little bit at the same time. So let's have some fun. Stick around for a minute. And first off, let's start off with my apology to Donahue George, because I did not realize that Donahue had put up a second video calling out Tipranks. So hat tip to you, Donahue, for doing that. You realize that their information is bogus. Let's hear what Donahue had to say, and then I want to extend an invitation to you, Donahue.
When you compare Tipranks institutional ownership to Fintel, Ortex, any other site, the numbers do not match. I don't know where Tipranks getting their information from, but no other site states that insiders own 74% of AMC.
That is correct, and if you watched my entire video yesterday, I showed you the Bloomberg terminal showing the insider ownership per latest SEC filings at 0.3% for AMC. And also I showed you who the top institutions are that hold AMC at the moment. So Donahue, good job on calling Tipranks out and clarifying that for us. I'm glad to see that you understand what's going on here and that these websites are purposely misleading investors. And I invite you to join me on Monday if Tipranks and Wall Street Zen have not corrected their information. I've reached out to them on Twitter and through direct messaging using their contact forms on their websites. If they have not corrected their information by Monday, I will be filing a complaint with FINRA and the SEC, and I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Let's put some heat on these guys and get them to clean up their act. Now, while Donahue has seen the light, we still got CSI trying to double down on the nonsense. So I encouraged the YouTubers to use a site like SEC Edgar and learn how to actually look up ownership filings. The best way to learn something is to actually do it yourself. So I was hopeful that he would try and learn how to do it, but we saw that didn't work out. So I'm going to take 5 minutes of my time and show you CSI and any of his viewers or any of y'all, my viewers, that want to learn how to check not only on AMC's SEC Edgar site, but the entity itself, Antara or Wanda. You can look them up. You can look up Antara and Wanda and see exactly what they own and what filings of beneficial ownership or insider ownership they have. So let's do that. We'll start off on SEC Edgar. We'll type in Antara. Antara Capital LP is the entity that owned AMC previously in the past, and now we can just see all of Antara's filings for every company that they own. You can see as we go down through this page the Schedule 13 filings and the company names. We got GAN Limited, Swift Merge, Revance Therapeutics. You can go down until we find where was their last filing for AMC, and you can see multiple filings here. Let's take a look at Antara's most recent filings for AMC. They were back in August of 2023. And first, let's check this one dated August 18th, 2023. At this point on August 18th, they had 61 million share ownership of AMC. Next, what we want to do is look at the very next filing, which was on August 31st, 2023, Schedule 13D update. And this one shows 0 shares of AMC. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let me just highlight the 0. So this was the point that Antara exited their AMC play. If Antara took a majority stake through some debt for equity swap or buying the shares, or AMC gave them the shares through any method possible, if they now owned 74, 30, 20, 10, any percentage over 5 or 10%, they would have to file an updated form, and they only have days to file that. And you can see that there are no filings here from Antara showing new ownership of AMC. What is a little bit of second data that we can look at? We can look at their 13F report, which shows all of their entire holdings. So we'll open up this filing, we'll click on the data table, and it shows every company that they have a position in. And you'll notice that AMC is not on this list. If you wanted to make the argument that AMC obviously gave Antara shares when they bought up subordinated notes out of the market, I'd invite you to go back and watch our debt live stream where we walk through how that process works. This was not Antara. It would have put them over the 5% threshold, and they would have had to file a Schedule 13D. This was not one entity that bought up all of these shares and held onto them, and only Tipranks and Wall Street Zen were the magic websites that figured it out. No, they just have bad data. If one entity took all of those shares, that would put them over the 5% threshold, and they would have 10 days from May 15th to file a Schedule 13. And we have not seen one from anybody on AMC. Now that we got Antara out of the way, let's look at Wanda America and double check the filings and the history, the data that we can see filed with the SEC for Wanda's ownership of AMC. We have back in April of 2021 a Form 4 being required because they were an insider owning more than 10%. And this document shows that they had basically 46 million shares of AMC stock. You can see the dates here in this middle column as they disposed of some of those shares, ending this filing with 30.4 million shares at the point of this filing. Once a entity drops below 10% ownership, they no longer file Form 4s. They switch to the Schedule 13, which is required for any entity that owns over 5%. And that was the last filing we have from Wanda. This was the filing where Wanda exited their AMC position on May 21st, 2021. Let's take a quick look at this document. This filing shows at that point on May 21st, 2021, Wanda sold all of their AMC position except 10,000 shares. And you can see at the bottom here that gave them a ownership percentage of 0.002%. I want you guys to couple the fact that Wanda has no filing showing any position in AMC since 2021 with your knowledge. Hopefully you guys remember this, that the Chinese government, Chinese regulators told Wanda back in 2021 that they had to exit their position in AMC and other plays. Chinese regulators targeted Wanda and other private conglomerates over their aggressive debt-fueled purchases of overseas assets. And that is why Wanda exited the AMC play, and that is why they will not be coming back. Because there are so many bogus websites out there giving you guys bad information, I want you to get used to using the SEC website. Get used to learning how to search for what you need to know. These websites cannot be trusted. I really don't understand why anybody would want to argue with me over this and trust some shitty little website when you can go to the SEC, the source where all of these websites get their information from. And the problem is, guys, that these websites don't do a good job of filtering the data. You know how it's all done by AI, and they put up sometimes misinformation because they were only looking at Form 4s and they missed the Schedule 13 updates where Antara and Wanda exited their position. But hopefully you learned something today about how to go look up AMC, all of the companies that filed 13Ds on it. Or if you want to hone in on somebody like Antara, you can look up them. You can look up Wanda and get the information yourself instead of trusting these bullshit websites. Leave me your comments or questions down below. I love to hear from you guys. Have a great weekend. I am Tony DeNaro, and I will see ya on the next video.